Hey kids, this is Miss Matinga.
This is Human Cyborg Relations, Mike Diamond.
And today we're talking gender identity, gender expression, and gender fluidity. Yeah, that's right.
Because you know, girl.
Yes, girl.
Or may I say, girl.
Girl. Wahini kane.
Wahini kane. Why you so cunning, girl?
Why you so cunning, girl? So first we would like to discuss the Polynesian topic of the Mahu. And the Mahu are those in Polynesian culture that have the male and the female within them and also choose to express their sexuality either as one or the other, of course not the one that you were biologically
or a blending of both,
or a blending of both.
The Mahu basically is look like a Fred, feel like a Wilma.
Wahini kane.
Wahini kane. Why you be so cunning, girl?
There's a beautiful documentary that I just watched.
Oh, Kumuhina.
Kumuhina.
Kumuhina. I love the little Mahu.
Girl who's actually a girl, but she wants to be a boy. And the beautiful thing,
she's rough and stuff.
The beautiful thing is like this older Mahu who is teaching the hula to all these high school boys, because that's what the Mahu did. They taught the hula which is intrinsic to Polynesian culture. It's how they relate their history. It's how they tell stories.
It's kind of like slow motion coconut scented voguing.
Exactly. So she's teaching these boys in a high school for a year-end performance. And it's beautiful how she sees that this girl is Mahu, and she brings this girl into the fold because this girl wants to dance with the boys. By the end of that year, the boys have given up the ghost.
She's leading the boys.
She's leading the boys.
Yeah.
The
and
boys,
she plays the ukulele.
And she sings beautiful. And the boys say she has the coup. She is the leader. Mm-hmm. They accept her purely as a Mahu, as transgendered. No bigotry, no hatred. It's so beautiful. Right. This is happening today.
Let's talk about the Native American two-spirit genre. Right. In Native American cultures, two-spirit people, again, like the Mahu,
much like the Mahu,
combine or blend the male and female, the masculine and the feminine, and also have silky long black hair.
Really, really nice hair. And, you know, once again, the two-spirit in Native American culture would bring in a lot of the religious observations. They would be religious leaders.
They would kill the buffalo and then tan the hide.
Exactly.
So they would do the duties of both, if they chose to.
And very naturally, in that culture, if they saw a little boy or a little girl, it was called the ceremony of the bowl and the basket. And if a little boy or would grab...
That sounds very ballroom.
Trust. And if a little boy would grab the bowl, then he would be taught to be a more feminine role. If they grabbed the basket, it was the more masculine role. But this was only
I
after...
always grab that basket.
But this was only after the elders would kind of already see where this child was headed. Once again, without Western mores.
Running feather, look a little cunty.
Running feather.
Whatever.
Looking a little cunty, that's right.
Breed. But
that's the ugly word.
We have to respect and recognize the two-spirit, the Mahu, the transgender, the transitioning, the transparent.
The transparent, that's right. So the two-spirit or the Bradash, I do want to say that
they're far ahead of me because, bitch, I ain't got no spirit.
Trust, she ain't got no spirit,
I got
girl.
no soul.
She only be drinking spirits.
What?
Girl, she be seeing spirits. But the Bradash, actually, you want to call American Indians who are two-spirit, you want to call them two-spirit because Bradash is actually...
Kind of a diss.
It's a diss. It's actually a French word that was sort of mixed up into American Indian language, and I think it's considered a little bit insulting. I think it's two-spirit, and two-spirit, once again, it doesn't actually mean gay or transgendered. It means third sex. It means that you are totally something different.
When they leave the casinos, they say, "Hey, come on, girl, it's time to badash."
It's time to badash, girl.
We're gonna badash now, mama.
Girl, did you badash that jacket? You look bedashing tonight.
Yeah, so they're not badash, they're bedazzling.
They're bedazzling.
Two-spirit people are bedazzling.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, Miss Trixie Mattel is part American
Who?
Indian. Miss Trixie Mattel, the drag queen, she's part American Indian.
I'm not.
This one. She's never liked drag queens. That's the one sexual expression that she doesn't like.
That's not even a sexual expression, honey.
Oh, yes, it is.
Drags?
Drags.
That's just clowning.
Drags.
Mind you, that could be some high-quality clowning, but drag is not about sex.
When I get into drags, I like to sit on a huge penis, and the boys live because
for at least another 6 months till the virus kick in.
I look fabulous.
Bitch, what you done to them?
Honey.
No, drags is not sexual. It's clowning. It's entertainment. Drag is also, I suppose, on that gender fluidity rainbow.
But it's not sexual or gender expression.
Unless you happen to be in drag at a public event and some guy picks you up and takes you home in his car, and as a thank you, you let him suck your toes. I'm not saying this happened to me or anybody I know, but oh my God, guys, it was the 90s. So let's move on to the intersex phenomenon.
I want to say that intersex is a little bit different because when it's not something cultural, it's not something religious. Intersex is more physiological, biological, emotional.
Right.
And intersex is when...
This is a tough one to explain.
It really is, but
to water it down, intersex is when a person is born with some internal organs of one gender and the external organs of another, or a combination thereof, or ambiguous genitalia, or some of these characteristics that show up later in life, post-puberty. It's an indeterminate.
So you could... you could look like a boy, but inside you have the reproductive organs of a girl. You could look like a girl, but inside you have the reproductive organs of a boy. Or your genitalia might be ambiguous, such as enlarged clitoris. Enlarged clitoris. What's my new drag name? It's enlarged clitoris. Or micropenis, or where the scrotum are kind of separated and look labial.
It's tricky, y'all.
It's tricky. What I've read in some of the work is that you should not do anything surgically. Raise the child as a boy or a girl, but don't do anything surgically. And then at a later date, after discussions that are filled with love and information, let the child make its own choice. And it may choose the sex that it's been brought up as, or it may choose another sex, but you don't take the choice away from them, because what might happen is that
you might make the wrong choice.
You might make the wrong choice.
Intersex shooter.
Shooting love in your direction.
Girl, we knew an intersexed individual.
Yes.
No, we didn't know that she was intersex. We didn't know that intersex was even a thing.
And I believe, isn't she like an intersex activist
we just thought,
at this
get
point?
into this flat-chested lesbian.
Trust.
Work.
Trust. Looking hard.
No, Mama.
Looking
Mama,
hard.
Don't step. She could see this.
Talk about the hedra.
Okay, let's talk about the hedra.
Let's talk about the hedra.
So the hedra.
The hedra is in sort of kind of Indian, and hedra, which is Hijra, which is an Urdu Hindustani word.
Yeah. It's a what?
Means it's an Urdu Hindustani word.
Oh shit! Somebody was on Wikipedia.
Tris. Right. Are sort of kind of like the Mahu, kind of like the Two-Spirit.
Yeah.
Once again, sort of what you would call at the weddings and the funerals
and the baby blessings,
throwing their blessings.
And you got to give them money, and they got bracelets and long hair.
And
basically, they are transsexual panhandlers.
Yeah. But once again, the term transsexual is a Western term, and it doesn't quite hit the mark exactly.
So
it's
what
more
I meant
of a
to say was
third sex.
Transsexual.
A transsexual revolution.
Right.
It's more of a third sex.
They're East Asian girls with something extra.
Well, they're considered shamans, but more often than not, they're sex workers, and there's a lot of bigotry, a lot of violence toward them.
That's not cool.
They lead lives on the edges of society.
That's not cool.
All over the world, like our transsexual brothers and sisters being turned out like that. But the hedra is what you would call sort of transsexualism operation.
There's a spiritual component to the hedra, though.
There is a spiritual, and often they live in communities that are all hedra. They follow, would you call that a guru or something else?
Like Yoda?
He's not
Yoda
a guru.
was a hedra, bitch. We knew a hedra.
Did we?
Yeah.
Was it Darkness?
My name is Darkness.
My name is Darkness.
With the black, and at the time,
was Darkness really hedra?
I thought she was just some, Pakistani goth queen.
And she was very dark. She was very dark and very goth. And she would like, whenever you walked up to her, she'd be like, "My name is Darkness."
My name is Darkness.
So I'd be like, "Honey, I've known you for 3 years. Every time I walk up to you, say your name is Darkness. I know."
Like, bitch, we know your name is Gerard.
We know your name is actually Gerard.
Anyway, so the Hydra, they're over there in India.
Pointing that ambiguous genitalia at
currying
me,
on.
Oh, no. You take that curry in a hurry somewhere else.
That's what I'm trying to say.
No,
By the
girl.
way, who needs curry in a hurry? I never understood that ad.
Sometimes you gotta have some Indian food in a hurry, mommy.
Bitch.
Sometimes you need it. Sometimes you need that motherfucking, what's that bread?
Pan.
Some pan.
Oh no, it's called naan.
It's called naan. And so the Hydra, yes.
So the Hydra, the Mahu, the Two-Spirit, the Intersex, the full transgender reading rainbow. Let's not shame people for their gender identity.
Let's not force them to
shame
the margins of society.
It's not binary. It's not male or female. You are who you are. I am what I am. It just so happens that most men are tramps.
Y'all bitches just don't know.